Few places evoke as much dread as Alcatraz. This notorious maximum security prison, perched on a remote island, was designed to confine and isolate society's most menacing criminals. It served as a fortress for America's most cunning masterminds and brutal offenders. Given its reputation, it seems almost unthinkable that 3 prisoners could not only break out of such an impregnable facility, but also survive the treacherous waters surrounding it. Despite official records claiming their demise during the escape attempt, a recent letter has prompted authorities to reopen the investigation into one of the most audacious prison breaks in history. At the heart of this daring plan was Frank Lee Morris, a man whose life seemed destined for notoriety from the start. Orphaned at 11 and convicted of his first felony by 13, Morris's tumultuous childhood shaped him into a clever and resourceful criminal. His intelligence, which could have led him to greatness, instead made him infamous as the architect of Alcatraz's most famous escape. Morris's criminal career took him through various penitentiaries across the United States. His time at the Alcatraz of the South, Louisiana State Penitentiary, ended with a successful escape, perhaps a rehearsal for his greatest feat. After evading capture for a year, he was finally apprehended and sent to the infamous Alcatraz, setting the stage for an extraordinary true story. At Alcatraz, Morris formed an alliance with brothers Clarence and John Anglin. Unlike Morris, the Anglins had a relatively normal upbringing in Georgia before relocating to Florida. Their summers spent cherry-picking in Michigan fostered not only a close bond between them, but also honed their swimming skills in the state's lakes, an ability that would prove crucial. Despite their seemingly innocent past, the Anglins had a penchant for crime. Arrested for bank robbery in 1956, they made several unsuccessful escape attempts from Atlanta Penitentiary before being transferred to Alcatraz. Joined by a 4th member, Alan West, the group began plotting what seemed impossible, escaping from the world's most secure prison. Their plan was simple in concept but nearly impossible in execution: break out of their cells and swim to shore, a feat that had claimed the lives of 36 previous inmates. The success of their scheme hinged on the combined expertise of all 4 men and an unwavering trust among them. Their shared history at Atlanta Penitentiary before Alcatraz likely facilitated their rapid bonding and collaboration. As they embarked on this audacious plan, they faced skepticism from fellow inmates who deemed them insane. Yet these 4 men were prepared to walk the fine line between madness and genius, driven by an unshakable determination to achieve the impossible. Housed in adjacent cells, the 4 conspirators had ample time to meticulously craft their audacious escape plan. Their non-violent offender status allowed them to maintain a low profile, crucial for their covert preparations. Alcatraz's dual function as a prison and manufacturing facility proved advantageous. Inmates could work for the U.S. Army, producing clothing, furniture, and footwear. This access to materials became invaluable for the resourceful escapees. Knowing their absence would be quickly noticed, the team devised a clever ruse. They painstakingly created life-size dummy heads using a mixture of soap wax, real hair from the prison barbershop, and toilet paper. The Anglin brothers took charge of this crucial task. Meanwhile, Frank Lee Morris focused on constructing makeshift rafts and life jackets, essential for navigating the treacherous waters surrounding Alcatraz. Each evening, from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m., the men worked tirelessly to widen the ventilation ducts in their cells. Using stolen spoons and scavenged wire, they gradually chipped away at the crumbling walls. This painstaking process, lasting months, was aided by Alcatraz's deteriorating infrastructure. The prison's use of salt water for plumbing had inadvertently weakened the walls over time. The escapees shrewdly exploited these vulnerabilities, focusing their efforts on the most eroded areas. To mask the sound of their nightly excavations, the team cleverly utilized the prison's music hour policy. Frank Lee Morris would play his accordion with increasing volume, perfectly concealing the noise of their digging. While this may have irritated fellow inmates, it provided an essential cover for their clandestine activities. As their plan progressed, the 4 men inched closer to their goal of achieving the impossible, escaping the inescapable Alcatraz. Behind the cells lay an unsecured utility corridor, a veritable playground for the would-be escapees. Once they had eroded enough bricks to create a passageway, this corridor would provide access to the prison's upper levels. Their goal, to reach the roof via a ventilation shaft they had discovered, was not cemented shut. By May 1962, after months of painstaking work, the Anglin brothers and Frank Lee Morris had finally created holes in their cell walls large enough to squeeze through. They ingeniously fashioned a makeshift raft and life vests from 50 stolen raincoats, meticulously stitched and glued together. Every single raincoat was crucial. Without them, the frigid waters of San Francisco Bay would prove fatal. As 3 of the 4 inmates stood ready, they faced an unforeseen challenge. Alan West, struggling with harder cell walls, lagged behind in his preparations. By June, he finally signaled his readiness, but fate had other plans. On the night of the escape, adrenaline pumping, the team set their dummy decoys in place and prepared to depart. While Morris and the Anglins easily slipped through their holes, West encountered an unexpected obstacle. His opening was too small. After spending hours trying to help him, the others made the agonizing decision to leave him behind. This was the first of many challenges they would face. Ironically, West's misfortune might have increased the others' chances of survival, as the raft would now carry 1 less person. Undeterred, the remaining 3 began their precarious 30-foot climb up the plumbing pipes to the roof. Using the uncemented ventilation shaft, they successfully reached the cell house roof, a dizzying 100 feet high. The stakes were immense. A fall from this height would render all their efforts futile. No one had ever survived an escape from Alcatraz. These 3 men were poised to either make history or join the long list of those who perished in the attempt. With life in Alcatraz scarcely better than death, they were willing to gamble everything on this daring escapade. As they began their descent from the roof, the most perilous part of their journey lay ahead. The chilling waters of San Francisco Bay awaited them, along with the ever-present threat of discovery. Their fate hung in the balance, with freedom tantalizingly close, yet still so far away. After descending the prison's exterior piping, the escapees landed near the shower blocks, successfully evading guard detection. They made their way to the shore, where they inflated their makeshift raft. This was the last confirmed sighting of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers. It's believed they set off into the treacherous waters of San Francisco Bay around 11:30 p.m. that fateful night. The following morning, alarms blared across the island as guards discovered the cleverly crafted dummy heads in the empty cells. The prison was in uproar. For the first time in its history, inmates had successfully breached Alcatraz's formidable defenses. Emboldened by his comrades' apparent success, Alan West finally managed to enlarge his cell hole. He ventured out but faced a critical decision at the shoreline: attempt the perilous swim without a raft or return to his cell. Ultimately, West chose the latter, unwilling to risk certain death without his companion's support. In the days following the escape, West confessed everything to the wardens, providing invaluable insight into the escapees' plan. He revealed their intention to reach Angel Island, steal clothes and a car, and then part ways. Despite heightened police alertness, no car thefts were reported in the area, casting doubt on the success of their plan. The escape's outcome remains one of America's most enduring mysteries. Despite extensive searches, no bodies were ever recovered from the bay. A few personal items matching those from Alcatraz were found, but these discoveries only deepened the enigma. Experts questioned the likelihood of survival in the frigid bay waters. The human body typically succumbs to such cold within 20 minutes, and the prisoners were unaccustomed to anything but the hot water available on the island. Yet, the absence of bodies left room for speculation. After 17 years of investigation, the FBI officially closed the case in 1979, presuming the escapees had drowned. However, the U.S. Marshals Service maintains an active warrant to this day, adhering to their motto of never giving up the search. About a month after the escape, a freighter reported sighting a body 17 miles from the Golden Gate Bridge, allegedly wearing clothes matching those of the Alcatraz escapees. This report, however, was never confirmed, adding another layer to the mystery. The great Alcatraz escape continues to captivate the public imagination decades later. It stands as a testament to human ingenuity, determination, and the eternal quest for freedom. Whether the escapees survived or perished in their audacious attempt, their story remains one of the most fascinating chapters in criminal history. The question lingers: did they make it, or did the treacherous waters of San Francisco Bay claim them? The truth may never be known, but the legend of the Alcatraz escape lives on, a reminder that even the most impregnable fortress can be challenged by those daring enough to try. Despite the official closure of the case, the story of the Alcatraz escape continues to evolve, with new evidence and theories emerging decades after the event. In 2014, a group of researchers posited that tidal conditions on the night of the escape might have favored the inmates' survival. This scientific backing lent credence to the possibility that Morris and the Anglins could have successfully navigated the treacherous waters. A 2015 History Channel documentary presented intriguing evidence suggesting the Anglin brothers' survival. Family members claimed to have received a Christmas card with handwriting matching that of the brothers. Moreover, a 1975 photograph allegedly showing the siblings in Brazil surfaced, with multiple forensic experts corroborating its authenticity. Adding to the mystery, Robert Anglin, brother to Clarence and John, made a deathbed confession. He claimed to have been in contact with both brothers from 1963 to 1987 before losing touch. This family testimony provided a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility of the brothers' long-term survival and evasion of authorities. In a stunning development, it was revealed in 2018 that the San Francisco Police Department had received a letter in 2013 purportedly from John Anglin himself. The contents of this letter, if genuine, would dramatically reshape the narrative of the escape and its aftermath. The letter, allegedly penned by an 83-year-old John Anglin, made several startling claims. 1. All 3 escapees survived the initial breakout, though it was a close call. 2. Frank Morris allegedly died in 2008 and was buried in Argentina under an alias. 3. Clarence Anglin reportedly passed away in 2011. 4. The writer claimed to have lived in various locations, including North Dakota and Seattle, before settling in Southern California. 5. Suffering from cancer, the author offered to surrender in exchange for medical treatment and a maximum 1-year prison sentence. The FBI reopened the case upon receiving this information, subjecting the letter to rigorous forensic analysis. They examined handwriting, searched for DNA traces, and compared fingerprints in an attempt to verify the letter's authenticity. The Alcatraz escape remains one of the most fascinating unsolved cases in American criminal history. Whether the inmates perished in the bay or managed to elude capture for decades, their story continues to captivate the public imagination. The possibility that one of America's most wanted fugitives might have been living within miles of his original escape point for years adds an ironic twist to an already extraordinary tale. It raises questions about the nature of justice, redemption, and the human will to survive against all odds. As the investigation continues, the truth behind the great Alcatraz escape remains elusive. It serves as a reminder that some mysteries, no matter how thoroughly investigated, may never be fully resolved, leaving us to ponder the remarkable possibilities of human ingenuity and perseverance. As news of the 2013 letter spread, the case once again captured public attention, reigniting debates about the fate of the escapees. CBS KPIX, a local news station, published the contents of the letter, reporting that all subsequent studies were inconclusive. The FBI's response to the letter left experts divided, unable to determine whether the agency had reached any definitive conclusions. The U.S. Marshal Service acknowledged the possibility of the inmates' survival, despite the lack of concrete evidence. However, they officially stated their belief that the letter was not genuine. In March 2018, former Alcatraz guard Jim Albright broke his 55-year silence in an interview with ABC 7. Albright expressed his firm belief that the escapees had drowned, never making it to San Francisco. He suggested that the 2013 letter was likely written by someone desperately seeking cancer treatment rather than by one of the escapees. The U.S. Marshal Service has stated that the investigation will remain open until either 1. Conclusive evidence of the escapees' deaths is found, or 2. The escapees would have reached 99 years of age. This approach ensures that resources are not wasted on searching for individuals who are likely deceased. As of today, no irrefutable evidence exists to confirm whether Morris and the Anglin brothers survived their daring escape or perished in the attempt. If they did survive, they would now be in their late 80s or early 90s, having potentially lived more than half their lives as free men, albeit as fugitives. The Alcatraz escape remains one of the most intriguing unsolved cases in criminal history. It continues to captivate the public imagination, sparking debates about the nature of justice, the limits of human endurance, and the powerful allure of freedom. Whether the escapees survived or not, their audacious plan and its execution have earned them a permanent place in the annals of American folklore. The case serves as a testament to human ingenuity and the lengths to which individuals will go in pursuit of liberty. As time passes, the likelihood of definitively solving this mystery diminishes. Yet it is this very uncertainty that ensures the story of the Alcatraz escape will continue to fascinate generations to come, reminding us that sometimes the most compelling stories are those without a clear ending.